Let's call on stage 3 outstanding experts who are here to expand on how design can today generate new markets and new business models. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Edward Stilson, Joby Aviation. Hey, it's good to see you here. Monika Mika from Rimac. Hey, good to have you. And last but not least, Jon Friedman from Freight Farms. Hey, come on, guys. Ah, it's good to be sitting, right? Yes, so welcome. It's good to have you here, right?
Pleasure to be here.
Yes, just a quick, probably very quickly, a quick round to say who you guys are and what you guys do in your respective fields. Probably Eddie.
Great. Well, thank you for having me here. Really happy. So, Joby Aviation is a mobility company. We're located in Santa Cruz, California, and we're using new technology to develop a vertical takeoff electric aircraft. And we'd like to use this aircraft as a service for you to get to where you need to go.
Right. And Monika?
So it's a pleasure to be here. And I would like to present what Rimac Automobili is doing. So basically, although many think of us as an automotive company, we are a technology company. Currently, we are more than 200 people and growing exponentially. Also, we are one of the highest growing company by Deloitte's list. And we have created the fastest electric hypercar. So take a look at the video.
Right, fantastic.
I'm sorry, I know that many of those companies are also Dassault partners.
Thank you, Monika. And Jon?
Hi, everybody. Thanks for having me. So I am the co-founder of a company called Freight Farms out of Boston, Massachusetts. And I'm probably one of the only companies here that's taking transportation out with our product, which is the Leafy Green Machine. So what we do is we bring the farm-to-table experience to companies all over the world, entrepreneurs, small businesses, and big corporate companies as well. So with the Leafy Green Machine, you can really grow food anywhere, regardless of the environment or your education level when it comes to agriculture.
Wow, that's awesome. Rethinking mobility, I mean, in the sky, right? That's a different approach. So how can design generate new business models and new markets?
Well, I mean, this is so exciting. Coming up, the presentations up to this have been great, and I think that they are proving exactly what is happening. So flying from California to beautiful Italy, I had a chance to reflect about what it's like to travel in today's marketplace. And it's incredible, this infrastructure that exists right now, right? We all rely on it every day, and it is what allows us to make business happen in today's marketplace. The problem is, though, it's so expensive to grow this. We have an infrastructure problem. It is, space is a premium these days. And what happens is traffic. We've all seen this. We hate it. And we need a way to get around it. We need new solutions to the existing problem. And Monika's going to speak to some of the exciting pieces happening on the ground. I'd like to speak to the sky. So Joby's building this vertical takeoff aircraft. It's going to transport you where you want to go. And now we all talk about highways in the sky, right? It's been talked about for years. We think of the Jetsons. We think of this Fifth Element sci-fi movie. We don't need imagination anymore. We need a real product to do this. So you look at NASA, Mueller, Hiller, all these visionaries that have been working on this for years. Why don't we have this?
This is not
new. It's not new. It's not new. So why is this all of a sudden happening now? And I think it comes down to the market. The market wasn't ready for such an outlandish concept. And in this new mobility revolution, there's going to be less concern on actually the logistics of going there. And it's going to be a lot more of this experience of enjoying your destination, where you're going to be.
So it's not that outlandish, though. So my question was, why now? So it makes sense.
Yeah, so right now is pretty interesting. So our CEO, Jobin, years ago was doing battery research. This is in the 90s. And he realized that there's no way that you could make an electric vehicle back then, and that at a 5% nominal increase of specific energy every year, that in 15 to 20 years, we're going to be able to make electric vertical takeoff aircraft. So here's a picture of one of our designs, and it's 20 years later. So we're working on this, and we're also riding this massive wave. We have these services, Uber, Lyft, you have Hyperloop. It's all happening now. It's changing a market that has been non-changed for the better part of a century.
Right. Electric sports car, Monika?
Oh yes,
Sci-fi.
We have created actually a sports car of 21st century, something that was not imaginable before with gas-powered cars. So think about it. We have 4 motors, 2 in the front, 2 in the back, and each motor is controlling each wheel separately hundreds of times per second. So basically, you can brake with one wheel while accelerating with 3 others, and do completely this opposite in another millisecond. And also, you can completely customize your driving experience. So you can adjust. Do you want to drive only on front wheels? Do you want to drive only on rear wheels? And it changes the way how customers are interacting with their supercars. They are basically creating their own supercar while they sit in it. And also, that technology can be applied then in various different fields. So we reshaped our business model. We are not producing just cars. We are using our technology to actually be able to help everybody else on the market to go in electric field. So you can see over here some of the applications where our technology is actually used. We are helping the world to go in electric way. And we think that that's already answered, like, will the world be electric or gas-powered?
That question.
I think we all know the answer.
Anymore.
Yeah.
Right.
The more important question that was already addressed in previous talks, actually 90% of the time our cars are standing still. So it's only logical way to go into autonomous direction. And that's also one of the fields that we are working on.
So the timing is right.
Yes.
All right.
And one of the speakers mentioned, what about if a famous race driver is driving you? But what about if Schumacher, for example, is teaching you how to drive your supercar and you're becoming better driver because he is teaching you how to drive it?
Oh, cool. Right. And rethinking mobility, agriculture. That's exciting.
Yeah. Well, so if you think about the business of agriculture up till now, it's progressed very centralized. So if you're thinking about agriculture as 2 paths, there's one which is very industrial that relies on climate and a lot of land. So only certain areas of the world can handle the global demand. And as we heard earlier, the global demand is going to rise quite a bit in the next couple of years. So taking climate out of the equation is where design can help us unravel new business models. So all the variables that you would see in different climates, when it comes to what the plants want, it's the perfect day of summer every day of the year inside the Leafy Green machine. So we're able to not only replicate something that would be uniform in Tokyo, but you're going to be able to have the same exact crop in Austin or in London. And at the same time, we're going to be able to see a lot more variety in the market. And that's what we're most excited about. In the same way that we saw 3D modeling and 3D printing being able to lower the barrier of entry for prototyping and tooling in the manufacturing market, we're seeing that now in the agricultural market. Being able to lower the barrier of entry for chefs and people who want to bring food supply closer, they can now have that unique offering in the market, where before, just like tooling, you had to pay a lot, have a large minimum order quantity, and didn't have access. So we're trying to democratize food production on a local level in that way.
So it makes sense to do it now. I mean, the timing has never been better.
Exactly. Now we have not only population to think of, but climate change is putting all that large amount of food production in these key places in the world at risk.
Right. So now, how are those new business models actually impacting the lives of your end users, Eddie?
Well, I mean, that's really why we're trying to do it. We're trying to make a better life for everyone, and through that, it's your time, right? Time is one of our most valuable assets, and you can't get more of it. You can't buy it, unfortunately. So in that, we live in these super congested areas, right? Here's a picture of San Francisco. It is next to this beautiful bay, and back in the day, we decided to build a bunch of cities around rivers and bodies of water because we were on boats. But now we use many cars with one person in each car, and if we put up another bridge, it's going to be another $1 billion, couple billion. Our new Bay Bridge was $6.4 billion. In the States alone, we have 20 million people a year spending over 45 minutes a day commuting to their job. So they need a new solution, and that's where we're working on our vehicle. And our vehicle is going to have realistic price point, it's going to have acceptable speeds, it's going to be very safe, and I truly feel that this is how it's going to help our customers have a better life.
Right. People ready for that?
I sure hope so. We get ready.
Right, Monika, what about the automotive sector?
So with our supercars, we are maybe not affecting so many people and their lives, but with our technology, the technology is definitely affecting a lot of people and has a lot of influence. So one thing, for example, that Concept One has, we have M2M communication with all of the cars that we are shipping. And basically, that allows us to have different information about a car. So we know what is going on with the car even before maybe customer realizes that. So we can notify customer if something is wrong with his car, he needs to send him to repair or he needs to charge his car. We send him different warnings. And that tool also enables you to give a lot more information about how customers are behaving and for us to be able to improve and to be able to improve our technology so they could use it in more adjusted way to their needs. And since we sell that technology to other companies, of course, more people will be affected with it.
Right. So, Jon, you already mentioned a few things. I think customer expectations are changing, so it's for real.
It's true. I would say the majority of people that I follow on Instagram take pictures of their meal and share them. So we're definitely having a different interaction with our food. But when it comes to the businesses that we deal with, that's their main priority, is bringing the food into the experience, whether it's on a university campus or a business model where you really want to get to know the farmer. We've seen people who are using it as a business extension, as their own entrepreneurial efforts, farmers who are using it as season extension, and veterans who are using it as a way to get back into the market. So we're seeing all sorts of business models break out of it, and the key component is transparency and knowing where your food's coming from.
Right, so you mean anyone literally can...
I'll make you a farmer. You want to be a farmer?
Even me?
That's going to be hard.
Yeah.
Right, that's really, with high heels, no way. Right, and of course, technology is key in that process. What are the technologies that you guys been using, I mean, that supported for farms in that journey, for example?
Yeah, so for freight farms, we've been borrowing a lot of new technological updates that other markets have had. So number one is LED lighting. So the curve of...
What are we seeing there?
Right now you're seeing a farm with the lights off and with the lights on. And being able to tune the spectrum of light for different plants has been a huge advantage for us to bring new products to market. Also, being able to tie all those together with IoT and make it a lot more usable. So no one has to be a greenhouse manager or have an agricultural background to monitor all the different components and the climate specs. Anybody can jump into it. So we've been using a lot of sensor networks and digital components to track and analyze how farmers are doing and fix preemptively those problems and help them and encourage them to be a little bit better.
Right. right, that's fantastic.
So SolidWorks has been that kind of core technology for us on the building side. A lot of our vendors don't speak English, but they all speak SolidWorks. So for us, that's been a...
It's becoming a universal language, right?
Yeah, for us it is.
And Gianpaolo, you're happy.
And for, for our future efforts, SolidWorks is a real foundation for our work we're doing with NASA to figure out how to get interplanetary sustainability as the norm. So that means figuring out and simulating a lot of different scenarios within the farm when it comes to airflow and the dynamics that we usually would be testing in person, but we can go through a lot of different models very fast and figure out what are the effects of building a wall here, doing a different layout, and really trying to reduce the amount of energy we use to grow plants.
So that's challenging and exciting. So how about Rimac, Mon?
So for us, our company is currently in a stage while we are growing from prototype manufacturing to serial manufacturing. And in order to be able to do that step, CATIA is one of the most important steps we have to take in the company, because CATIA allows us to develop our cars according to highest automotive standards. It also allows us to be quicker in a development, and of course PLM system that helps us to have control of the whole process in the company.
Right.
Yes, and it also pushes you to develop according to different standards in the industry. And if you following what a system is offering, you will make sure that you're developing your product according to needs of the industry.
All right. And what about you, Eddie? I mean, in your sector?
Right, so aircrafts, they have a lot of parts. We have a lot of new things we need to develop. And several years ago now, we approached Dassault, mainly because they're the gold standard in aerospace design. But then we really started to push down. So first it was composite design. We were modeling the lightweight plies one by one, and then we moved on towards the new additive manufacturing and simulation tools that are coming out. And these have been fantastic because we really believe at Joby that you need a multidisciplinary look at everything. You can't just say, so this division throws it over the cubicle, the next guy does it, right? No, design is holistic. And so in this new application, we have an engineer design it and then run a simulation. And you do that as many times back and forth up until you have something solid. And all this is within the same platform, right? So the engineer understands where his data is, and it's not one program to another program. And we think that's really important. And moving to collaboration, so we have every engineer working on the latest revision, and that's been really powerful for us, and I think it's going to help us very much so in certification, in that everything is going to be organized, and it's going to be a path forward.
All right, that's fantastic.
I would maybe just like to point out one thing he mentioned. Like with the development of car, that's one thing that is really important, that all of the guys who are creating it are sharing the same platform. Okay, we have some girls who are also creating the supercar. But that's really important, that they are able to simultaneously work on the one model.
All right. And you were talking about electric sports cars, so this is fascinating. I mean, this is becoming commonplace. In the mindset of people, this is something that is...
Yeah, I think people are sometimes reluctant to changes. They are creatures of habit. And I remember when we started, we had many clients like visiting and telling us, okay, yeah, great, you're doing nice stuff, but sports car without the sound, do we really want it? Do we really need it? And then they try it, and they have this completely different user experience, something they could never experience with the gas-powered cars. And suddenly, they change their mind. They realize that, okay, we need something like this, and future can be fun even with electric cars.
All right, that's exciting. And John, we need to come to one of your camps so you can teach us how to make our own foods.
You're welcome anytime.